Apollyon Station. Just blast that subway car with your butt stink.
I know for some of you that clicked on this video, you immediately disagree with me, but please just hear me out. I'm not saying that Troy and Tyreen Calypso in Borderlands 3 weren't cringy. They were, but for the wrong reasons. Honestly, they should have been worse. Borderlands 3 was about streamers from people who don't understand streamers, and so was a huge missed opportunity for some good old-fashioned satire. Tyreen and Troy Calypso were Twitch streamer villains. Tyreen was a siren who could leech power and life from people, whereas Troy was her parasitical twin who was kept alive solely through her leeching power. The pair garnered fans through streaming on the EchoNet and promising world domination to those who joined their cult. This movement was snappily named the Children of the Vault, largely made up of the hitherto chaotic and divided bandit tribes found throughout Pandora, and they were cringy in the extreme. Now, in true video essay tradition, let me explain what I mean by cringe first, because we do have to get that definition straight. It's fair to say that we're more exposed to and fed up with influencer culture than ever before. TikTok, ring lights, fake reviews, food, juice, or whatever the hell this actually is, tone-deaf IRL versions of capitalist critique, influencer to actor pipeline. You simply just cannot escape influencers. But we also live in a post-cringe society, in my opinion. To be cringe is to be free, etc, etc. Weezer's Pork and Beans, fantastic for the anti-cringe movement. Now, it's important to state that development of Borderlands 3 took place pre-2019, when the game was actually released in 2019. This means it was pre-TikTok blowing up during the pandemic, but that's not an excuse. The Calypso Twins should have been cringier. The pair were transparently based off of influencers and streamers. You've got Logan Paul, Jake Paul, Tana Mongo, James Charles, content houses, Twitch streamers. Regardless of the fact that this takes place pre-TikTok blowing up, there's a whole generation of YouTube influencers to riff off of. Cringe happens when we see something that we have distaste for, and for me that feels something like secondhand embarrassment, but wrapped up in a more catchy word. I had to watch so many cringy videos to get that feeling right, so please like this video for my suffering alone. In the noughties up to the mid-2010s, meme culture was used to shame niche creators as being cringe. These were often children with a passion for something like warrior cats, who just had access to a webcam and YouTube. And I would wager this is where most of our understanding of cringe comes from. Watch Weezer's Pork and Beans music video for some real throwbacks to the meme culture, but when you watch that music video, all you really see is people doing what they enjoy in YouTube, and other people who that content was not meant for, making fun of them and calling it cringe. Now, importantly, in the definition of cringe, it's not the person that is cringe, because cringe has to come from the observer. That recoil and distaste is the byproduct of witnessing something that doesn't hit quite right. But there's a difference between cringe and embarrassing, and in my opinion, the Calypso Twins fell more into the embarrassing category than they did the cringe one. The Calypso Twins' poop jokes were embarrassing.
Apollyon Station. Try our new private transit pods. Fart up your commute in peace.
Apollyon Station. Just blast that subway car with your butt stink.
As was Borderlands 3's obsession with poop on the whole, really. This wasn't influencer cringe, where you can see the manufactured nature of their persona which appeals to an influencer's audience. This was just pure immature jokes that I think only a 5-year-old would find funny. The Calypso Twins were based on streamers specifically, rather than the "oh my god guys" TikTok influencers that we're familiar with now. And I'm going to make this clear, having the villains as streamers was a masterstroke, but the execution was flawed. The Calypso Twins having followers, quite literally cult followers, lets slays, selling tiered memberships, giving perks to those who paid the most, all of those things accurately satirise the parasocial relationship influencers have with their audience, but this wasn't mirrored in their dialogue with you, the Vault Hunter. Calling you their biggest fan was cringe in the good way, but it should have been milked more and explained more by Tyreen, as it kind of came across as lazy writing, a mere way for Tyreen to avoid calling you Amara, Flack, Mose or Zane, because for some reason the characters in Borderlands 3 didn't have unique voice lines for the 4 main Vault Hunters, but I digress. The term biggest fan being used to define those who do not like you is used in popular culture and was used way back then. MLM Huns use it to describe those who critique the MLM structure, arguing that they're quote-unquote obsessed with them, and are their biggest fan because they've watched their content closely enough to be able to dismantle the manipulation and rhetoric that these MLM boss babes use. MLM Huns, just like Tyreen, can't distinguish between getting attention from fans and getting attention from critics, because to them, the result is the same. View count goes up, all press is good press, etc, etc. And Tyreen could easily use this argument too. Like their fans, Vault Hunters won't leave her and Troy alone, but this isn't out of adoration, but because they don't want them to become gods and destroy the universe because, shocker, they're one of the idiots who live in said universe. This is one of the examples of the Calypso Twins starting off with decent characterization. They were egotistical brats who streamed Lilith's siren ability being stolen and then made roasting edits of it, which was perfect. Chef's kiss. That's cringe, and I kind of love it.
Troy whipped up a propaganda vid for our followers. Galaxy premiere! Check it out! You're a star. Looking good, Firehawk.
The Iridium tier support, the Let's Plays saying like, follow and obey after every broadcast, coming at you live, etc, etc, all of that stuff is fantastic characterization for streamer villains.
Attention Iridium tier followers! Put on your limited edition star glasses so you can gaze upon us without going blind! Gods, bitches! It's happening!
However, the further into Borderlands 3 you get, the more it feels like having the twins as streamers was an offhand joke made in the writer's room that was rolled into their character design, but not really expanded upon in any meaningful way. I mean, they should have been followed around by camera or something as part of their character design. They should have made these tiers a bigger part of their brand. You could even just have the bosses in Borderlands 3 as coming from these tiers. And I do know that did happen in a couple of incidents in Borderlands 3, but it should have been a bigger part of the Calypso Twins leadership structure. Now, seeing the facade cracking when they reveal they do just use their followers as cannon fodder could have been a significant part in the story. Cutting the camera when they're about to do something that damages their brand is very on par with streamers and influencers, and although we as Vault Hunters know that they use their followers as cannon fodder because we're shooting them all the time, the people who watch their streams, the bandits who watch their streams, might not make that connection. What I gathered from playing Borderlands 3 is that it needed to have input from people who watch or are subjected to content from streamers, not those who make content. It was made with a top-down approach when it should have been bottom-up. Okay, Zoe, I hear you ask, so how could the Calypso Twins have been cringier? I'll tell you. They could have done more things that were more gross. Streamers and YouTubers have always done things that have raised eyebrows on the internet. Aside from when they have controversies, there are vlogs, story times, collabs, brand sponsorships. All of these were in the popular culture consciousness when Borderlands 3 was being developed. Even things like unskippable ads for the Calypso Twins coming up on your EchoNet device could have poked fun at YouTube in that fun, incredibly insufferable and annoying way. And speaking of the EchoNet device, villains seemingly have access to this and can just call you directly whenever they want without you having any option of hanging up. So the twins should have played with this more, rage baiting the Vault Hunters, prank calls, things like that. I mean, if Handsome Jack can get a direct line to you in Borderlands 2, then you know that the Calypso Twins must be able to as well, which is proved throughout the story.
Free Vault Thief. See, it's been forever since we killed your siren friend, and my followers are chomping at the bit for a new murder vid. So, we built a death machine. Here's the sitch. Let me film you killing yourself with my murder cams, and then I'll give you a one-of-a-kind gun.
All of this would have been annoying and cringe in a way that backed up their characters and their persona that they were presenting to the children of the vault. The poop jokes were weird and gross because it was so immature and just not funny to anyone. I mean, it makes you seriously consider, did someone behind the scenes have coprophilia? Don't Google that. But honestly, maybe I shouldn't be so hard on them. Because let's face it, Tyreen and Troy had an almost impossible act to follow. I'm afraid, yes, I do have to talk about Handsome Jack. The characterization of the Calypso Twins unconsciously aped Handsome Jack in their obnoxiousness and their exhibitionist nature. Influencers seek attention, yes, but they do this by trying to appeal to their audience with often faux authority. All of that is an act. By and large, their power comes from their followers and their clout. An influencer without an audience is just someone talking to a cold, disinterested lens in an empty room. Handsome Jack's level of arrogance and ego exists because he has ridiculous authority and ridiculous wealth and things like a diamond stallion, both of which can back up his actions. He had a legion of unquestioning Hyperion robots to command and a mega corporation at his beck and call, neither of which he needed to fawn to. But so did the Calypso Twins via their followers, the Children of the Vault. But we don't see the reason these bandits love Tyreen and Troy. We don't see any of Tyreen and Troy's content besides those compilations. We don't see the stuff they're preaching, the special attention they give to Iridium tier followers, besides marching them out as bosses every now and again. Tyreen and Troy just kind of felt like a loose reason why the bandits could be marshalled in numbers against the Vault Hunters, and found in all corners of the solar system, to be frank. I wanted so much more for Tyreen and Troy. For the record, I did like them as villains. They were f***ing insufferable, but, like Claptrap, that's the point. And I do have to give Borderlands 3 props for doing their villains very different from expected, and honestly, their track record is super strong when it comes to the types of villains they include in their games. One of the things I really enjoy about Borderlands villains is that they're all so different from each other. In Borderlands 1 you had Commandant Steele, who was classic villain, corporate masters, military coded. Then in Dr. Ned of the Zombie Island of Dr. Ned DLC, you had a kind of Dr. Frankenstein coded evil scientist with a drinking problem and a killer moustache. And then of course, Handsome Jack. Complete corporate, arrogant narcissist like Dennis from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, who I don't need to spend more time talking about, but he is top tier.
Hey, how did Freckles suck? How's your day been, buddy? We haven't really talked much since I left you for dead. Hey, you think you'll freeze to death out there? No, probably not. Bandits will get you first. My day? Been pretty good. Just bought a pony made of diamonds. Yeah, because I'm rich. So, you know, that's cool. Goodbye.
Moving to Borderlands 3, you have Aurelia Hammerlock, who was featured in the pre-sequel as well. She's an Ice Queen socialite, cruel, greedy, and filthy rich, with fantastic voice lines in the pre-sequel, honestly. And I really liked Katagawa Jr. He was a rich Nepo baby who killed his siblings to become his parents' heir, and his parents were also high-ups in Malawan, which meant that he eventually became head of Malawan's mergers and acquisitions. He was a complete brat, and I loved that. Borderlands 3, in a move I didn't think I'd ever say, didn't push the cringe far enough. They had poop-covered Echo Net device skins, made poop jokes, had every meme available just shoved into that game, and sacrificed heart for incessant ruffle-copter jokes. But when time came to go full throttle, insufferable streamer, smash that like button core, they didn't. I don't understand it either. Borderlands 4's main villain looks to be the Timekeeper, and I'm not signing anyone off yet. I love the Borderlands series, unironically, and yes, that might make some of you watching this cringe. What a turn of events, but I truly just want the best for a video game franchise that I played weeks of co-op with my little brother, and completed God knows how many times, and loved how powerful and unapologetic Lilith was to baby 16-year-old me way back in 2009. Do you hope for the same, or do you think Borderlands 4 is going to be equally as cringy as Borderlands 3, which I honestly don't think it could be? Let me know in the comments below though. If you enjoyed this video and did not cringe at it, then please like it. If you cringed at it, please like it anyway, because I went through an intense amount of suffering watching cringy videos for this video. For more videos like this about video games, subscribe to Eurogamer, as we have a new video out about video games almost every single day, and some of the time they're opinion ones like this from me, Jim and Ian. Now, I am going to go and pray to the gods that be that Borderlands 4 is better than Borderlands 3, which I don't think will be very difficult actually. So, I'll see you folks next time.
Now is a great time to score some incredible games through Humble Choice. Live now through to October 7th, you can grab WWE 2K25, Destiny 2 Legacy Collection, The Plucky Squire, Return to Monkey Island, and more. Whether you're building up your backlog or discovering something new, this is the perfect time to pick up these fan favourites. Plus, every purchase supports a good cause, with this month's featured charity being Team Rubicon. Get a curated mix of PC games every month, all for just £11.49 a month.